Well, Senator Roger Marshall has a plan to stop financing Putin's war machine. A very good idea indeed. We bring in Senator from Kansas. Senator Marshall, thank you, sir. So basically, you're going to throw out, if I get this right, on the U.S. sanctions of Russian oil imports. The June 24th deadline is crazy. It's 3 months from now. You're going to bring it up immediately, as I understand it, or not?
Absolutely, Larry. This president talks a big talk, but his actions are so shallow. So right now we have sanctions against the Federal Central Bank for everything except energy. The energy sanctions aren't going in effect till June 24th. That's 40 or 50% of that bank's business. Why does this president want to prolong this war? You look at this situation, and this administration is either incompetent or they want this war to be prolonged. We want these sanctions to hit now. We want them to hit yesterday. It's day 44 of this world. Every day that this war continues is going to lead to more starvation, more famine, more economic problems for Americans, higher grocery prices, higher gasoline prices.
What's the, so just to clarify, you and some others, you have a bill. Who's on your bill? Rick Scott is on the bill, as I understand it. A couple of
Yes,
others.
sir.
Will you get a vote on this bill? Because I just kind of have a feeling if you got a vote, you might get it. You might actually win with some moderate Democrats.
Yeah, I think to Brian Kilmeade's points here earlier, the Democrats are tired of walking the plank with this president. So quietly, they're pushing back on issues like this. A lot of Democrats are standing behind Ukraine as well. We don't want boots on the ground, but we could be doing so much more. And I think the Democrats are tired of this White House squelching all these types of ideas like this. So I think if we would get a vote, I think it would pass.
Yeah, I think you're right, too. You know what troubles me, Senator? That June 24th deadline, I had a sense that that deadline was there because the Biden administration figured, there'd be a standoff, a war, or Russia would be victorious by June 24th, and they'd never have to do that, so they'd never have to offend Vladimir Putin. That was always, when I saw that, I mean, why would you announce something and then wait 3 months to implement it? Well, the answer is they didn't think they'd ever have to implement it because the war is over. And now you got a whole separate set of assumptions, and we need to act on it. Because if we can win in Ukraine without putting boots on the ground, you know what? Vladimir Putin will be gone forever, and the world will be a better place for it.
Yeah, you're right, Larry. We can't look at this war just in isolation. We have to look at the big picture. Of course, China is watching very close. The rest of the world is watching this. North Korea, Iran, terrorists, they're all watching. Will this president finally stand up to anybody? And you're right. They thought they would never have to make this decision. We really have not heard the words come out of this administration that Ukraine can win this war. We heard the Pentagon just a second ago say we want Ukraine to win. But I'm telling you, I've been to the border there. I do think Ukraine can win. I think they're winning on the ground, but they're going to need more help to control the airways.
Yeah, I think you're right, sir. Can I ask you one more thing before we lose you? We appreciate your time so much. This Title 42 business, you've got a bipartisan group going to have your own bill or your own amendment to get voted on that would be separate from the COVID funding? Because Schumer will let the COVID funding expire, and that means 42 would expire. But if you'll actually have a vote. Is that the case? And what's the outlook for that? Because, the war at the border is a very important war for this country, too.
Yeah, you're right, Larry. So evidently there's still a pandemic not a pandemic at the border, but there's a pandemic across the rest of the nation. So we're going to keep making our kids wear masks, but we're going to let people cross the border now. So it's a big challenge. Republicans and a lot of Democrats would like to have a vote on this issue to continue the Title 42. If Title 42 expires April 23rd, the number of people coming across the border will triple. It'll go from 5,000 a day to 15,000 people a day. Our Border Patrol is going to start acting like ushers, like maitre d's, basically just a processing center, a welcoming center, saying, come on in and utilize all of our resources. There'll be no vetting of the people coming across the border. This is actually our biggest, most significant immediate national security problem going on in this country.
So, Senator, just last question. Do you think you'll get a vote on this bill? It's standalone, you're saying. Title 42, up or down, or something that would be similar? Because otherwise, I worry that it'll just lapse. It'll just expire.
Well, certainly that's the argument up right now. Schumer has dug his heels on. Republicans have dug our heels in as well. We're saying if you want to repurpose $10 billion to do more COVID therapeutics, more COVID vaccinations, reapply some of those monies, then we want to vote on Title 42. And neither one of us are willing to give in yet. Right now, we're going to let Schumer just negotiate against himself over the next week, come back, and hope he'll give us a vote on it.
All right. Roger Marshall of Kansas Center, thank you very, very much. Really appreciate your time.
We'll be right back.